All right, we in here. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 160 of the RGT podcast. As you guys see, we got the, I don't even want to say I got a panel. I just say I got family in the chat right here. We got Robin Gaming making his first official debut on RGT. Got my brother BG on the right here. We got the homie Blaze. And, of course, we got Craig Harris. He's been AFK for a while, but good to see him back on here. Let's go ahead and get these intros, man. First of all, let's start with our special guest, Robin Gaming, man. What is going on? It has been a while. Been talking to you for years, and now we're here. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think this is the first time I'm talking to you, and in person, I guess, but over voice. But yeah, it's good to be here, man. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Everybody in the chat, I see y'all. Welcome. Go ahead, hit that like button, share it out. Let's get this show out of here. All the way from the weapon wheel. BG, what up, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Craig Harris, he's muted. I'm not sure if he's there. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. So, yeah, everybody knows who I am. Big shout out to you, Robin. I've watched you back with One Stop for Gamers and Bear Hugger way back in the day. So I was one of the guys in the chat. So, yeah, good to see you, man. Glad you're doing well. And shout out to Big Cloud and all the sponsorships you got in Big Cloud. And shout out to Blaze as well. So, yeah, let's get the show started.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Gaming Cobra and HexGaming for sponsoring the show. Shout out to those guys. Links in the description below if you want to check out their merch, everything. And, of course, last but not least, got the brother Blaze 4K. What's up, bro?
I'm happy to be here, bro. Listen, we got a lot of clout in this room, man. So, let's make sure we have a smooth show. So much clout.
Absolutely.
Robin looked like he worked for Guerrilla Games, bro. I feel like he secretly works for them. I'm telling you, man.
Hey,
he's smooth, man.
I try to dress for the moment.
Bro, you look like Bond, like James Bond, bro. He's smooth. Robin's a smooth guy, man.
Every time, man. Every time. Well, I guess we'll get right into this. For those of you that didn't know, the actual patch for Hideo Kojima, or I said Hideo Kojima, for Blue Box Game Studios game, whatever the hell this is, this app is officially live.
Can I immediately dive into this real quick?
Yes, sir.
Because I literally just checked what it is, because somebody on Twitch was opening it, and I'm watching it. Literally all it is a menu screen with several spots for different trailers that they're going to release over time, and there is just one available right now, and it's just the exact same teaser trailer that they had already posted on that Twitter that is only 5 seconds long. That's it.
Are you serious?
There is nothing else to it.
Wow, that's crazy.
They are just trolling the shit out of us. That's what's happening.
So let's talk about this. Is this some kind of genius strategy that they're doing, or do you guys just think that they fucked over whatever the hell this is? Because everybody's been talking about this for months, and of course, going 2 days ago when we got to the reveal, everybody was expecting some gems to be dropped, right? And they literally said, "Oh, we have technical issues." I have never seen a game ever get hyped up like this and then not work on the day that it was supposedly going to be quote unquote shown. Robin, what's your thoughts on this, bro?
I mean, we've seen that this whole thing has been off from basically the very first time that people found out that there was some weird things going on, right?
Right.
And initially, I was kind of buying into the whole thing that oh yeah, this could be Kojima, because we know that this is what Kojima does quite often. But that being said, I feel I don't know. I mean, I'm still kind of 50-50 on it, I guess. But at the same time, I feel the way they're dragging this out right now, and at this point, I mean, this right here, what's happening right now with this app, and basically that is just that first trailer being 5 seconds. I feel like this is gonna kill it for everybody right now, and people are just gonna, no pun intended, they're gonna abandon this whole thing now, and they're gonna like, I don't know, they're just not gonna give a fuck anymore. So
you saw the 12-second teaser, right? With him walking, the little character walking. Did you
that's
think
the
that
one I
was
mean.
Silent?
That's
okay. I'm sorry.
that's in the app right now. That's all that's there.
Oh, okay.
Wait, the same one?
The same one that we saw on Twitter.
Yeah, the
bro.
same one. Yeah. Everything else is grayed out, so you can't even. That's it. The whole thing is so. It's I don't know.
Oh, Robin, I really think it's.
Wow.
I think the hype, all the fucking amount of hype behind this game, and I feel like they're so nervous to drop whatever they got because they feel like it's not going to meet expectations anymore. Like it's surpassed their vision of like what they thought it was going to be. Like it's super.
I don't know. I don't think they're nervous at all. I think this is purposeful. I think that it's either this is. I mean, this is clearly a troll attempt. Whether it's a troll attempt from actually like PlayStation and Kojima, or from just some one guy, Hassan Karaman or whatever, right? That's like somehow managed to just troll everybody. I don't know, but like, I mean, that's definitely right now where I'm leaning. But I think it's a troll attempt. I don't think in any way that this is anybody getting over the head right now anymore. That's what it could have been initially, but with everything that's been going on now, clearly I don't think that's the case anymore. But
yeah, Blaze, let me go to you because you sent me that screenshot from Silent Hill from PT, with the dude walking away, and you was like, "Yo, Ryan, there's similarities. It's got to be Silent Hills." Do you still feel that way after this shit? I mean, granted. Again, man, there's a lot of shit that just don't make sense, right? Like, if this was any other studio, I believe, I think Sony would have been very vocal, you know what I mean? And, like, say, hey, look, this is unacceptable, or they would have removed it from the store. Sony hasn't said a word about anything for Blue Box Game Studios, and now they're just
but that's traditional Sony right there.
Not really. Look at Cyberpunk. They removed themselves.
Yes, but that's different. But when it comes to, like, breaking news and, like, telling people, like, what's going on, Sony's usually kind of kept to themselves. They don't really go out there and say, hey, this is going to happen. They're very last minute and then put it out and people are going to like it regardless. Yeah. So, I mean.
How you feel, though?
I don't know what it is anymore. I don't even want to say. I don't want to look like a fucking. Either way, I'm going to have egg on my face because it's like I want it to be something. I'm done just speculating, bro. Like, at this point, like, I'm irritated with that shit. I don't even care anymore. I really don't care anymore.
Yeah, people
but that's what I mean. Like, at this point, it's frustrating. You know what I mean? So if Sony were involved, like, I still find it weird how they do get this app to be on the PlayStation Store, and how Sony, indeed, like, they're not saying anything about it. Kojima's not saying anything about it. Konami is not denying anything. So that's still the weird part about it. Why are they not just saying, like, we don't have anything to do with this? You know, that would tell me that they might actually still be involved, but at the same time I'd be like, but right now this is just getting frustrating, and so I literally don't know what to make of it anymore. Basically, it's just
don't they gotta get that shit approved, like, right, BG? If they want to put a game up there, that shit gotta be approved by Sony. Like, hey, what are you putting up on it? What are you putting on our store?
I mean, bro, Sony showed their trailer. PlayStation showed their trailer at that PlayStation event. So I'm like, that's what doesn't, like, because some people were saying that these dudes are like, they're just some type of shell company and like it's all a scam or something like that, right?
That's everybody saying.
And they're saying like it's just a scam because like they have a history of like not releasing things, claiming that they have something to be shown and just never releasing it. I mean, I've never really heard of them or seen them before, but like I gotta think. I don't know what the process is for like if you're a developer and you want your game to be shown at like a PlayStation event. But I would assume Sony would have to see the game, right? Like some form of it working or something like that. I would assume that. That's why I'm like, the fact that PlayStation hasn't said anything, if this was a scam, if this is an actual scam and PlayStation allowed this to be shown at their show, they look extremely incompetent. They look like idiots.
Right.
Like, so I don't know what's happening anymore. Like, I think too much has happened for it to actually be nothing, but I don't know what it is. I don't think this is just a regular game by some indie studio like these people are claiming. I don't think it's that. But I don't know if I can absolutely say what it is either. But I know what it is and I know what it ain't. That's it. I don't know anything else, man. It's kind of crazy.
You know, it's wild. What's his name? Shuhei Yoshida. He actually tweeted out the trailer too. Yeah, I remember he was waiting, and like you just said, like they had to have seen this because all this stuff, all the marketing was already ready to go. They were ready to pull the trigger on whatever the hell was going to be revealed 2 days ago, and all we got was that 12-second snippet. And now, what Robin just said, that's the part that they just released today. So again, it's like. I don't really know what to really say. I even said this in a video. I was like, I refuse to put any stock into this. And a lot of people are like, why not? It's fun to speculate. It's like, yeah, sure, it's fun to speculate. But at the same time, that's you hyping up something that clearly might not be the case. So it's
yeah, but then again, look what's gone onto the PlayStation Store in the past, like that Tiger game, Cyberpunk, what that whole, like, Sony, I'm sure had a look or had, some sort of testing going on. Like, what I mean is, like, I don't know. I don't really think there's like a big quality control on what's, like, as long as they got like a license, let's say, to do that type of shit. When they sign some sort of contract, like, hey, it's got to be a playable game and it's got to perform. I'm sure they expect all these restrictions, but there's been some trash that got passed through the store and got, what I mean. So I really don't know.
Yeah,
well, I love it. I love it. So,
what you think about it, Greg?
why don't they just wait for Sony to announce something? That's all you have to do. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Just I got people were crying the other day talking about how it's something called the gaming streaks. Somebody can point that out to me. I have no idea what that is. Said it's dry and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, there's plenty of things out here if you want to play, whether you have a PC or the Switch or whatever. So yeah, this when they're ready to make an announcement, the parent company will make an announcement. And but it's, as far as the Sony store, the companies want to make money. Sony wants to make money. So there's an agreement there that you're not going to put trash on our store because that hurts everybody. That's why Sony yanked Cyberpunk. I mean, that made CD Projekt Red look stupid. And does that make Sony look stupid? I mean, Sony flat said, you all got a problem with quality control over there. So,
but Craig, my point is it initially got through. You know what I mean? Like, there's no play testers. There's no, like, it got through.
No, you're right. It got through, but that's on the company putting the stuff on the store. I mean, yeah, you're right. I understand what you're saying. You would think Sony would have somebody in there like a gatekeeper, but they don't have that. Yeah, but I don't disagree with you in principle, but ultimately, yeah, if you put something on their store, it's kind of an understanding that you have quality tested it because you want it to make money and we want to make money. So, but yeah, you're right. They should have gotten somebody in quality control. But yeah, I just don't know why people, not even with this app, with other things, just wait for them, all the companies to make announcements. So, and then talk about, But I agree, BitCloud's right. Speculation is fun, but you eventually you look stupid, and the people covering this and waking up in the morning saying, I heard Blue Moon on the radio and a blue car went past me and I rolled over a hill at the same time. Therefore, they're going to have Silent Hills available. That's just getting ridiculous. So people need to wait.
Anybody who's really trying to build like a bunch of content off of this, I really would urge you guys to stop. But hey, do you. If it's working, it's working for you. Anyway, moving on here. Let's get into, first of all, what you guys been playing? What y'all been playing lately?
I've been playing Mass Effect and a little bit more. And yeah, Mass Effect. That's about all that's life, man. Mass Effect is life.
It's definitely dry out here, Craig. I don't know where where you're getting your water from, because I'm thirsty. Like it's definitely dry out here.
Oh, I played BTS Flight Sim. I started playing something called Battlefield 4. It's stupid, but it's something. I was just playing it. So I got plenty to do. Yeah.
All right, BG, you playing the beta for Back 4 Blood, or did you play the closed one?
Yeah, I played the beta. Mm-hmm.
What you thinking? You hopping on the open one, or it's not for you?
I mean, I liked it. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of Left 4 Dead or anything like that. I usually don't enjoy horde shooters, but I found Back 4 Blood enjoyable because I think the guns just feel satisfying, and there's good sound design, so I'm actually enjoying it. I mean, I think it does become every horde shooter. By the time you shoot the 50th, I don't know, 500th zombie, I mean the fun does wear down. You're just shooting zombies over and over again. But as far as shooting zombies go, I think it's a good one. You know, I'm probably gonna pick it up and you know, just play it with people whenever. It's not something that it's not like going to be a priority game or anything like that, but it's something you could play.
It's more like a side game, right, for you?
Yeah, it's a side game. Like if everybody else on your friends list might have it, hey, yo, let's run it for a few. But that's pretty much what it is.
So, question: I didn't think I asked you. Are you getting Dying Light 2?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
so that's the game more likely all of us are going to be.
Come on, Big Clay. That's like asking about you.
No, that's got to be the game he's going to be linked to because everybody's like kind of been sleeping on it in discussion. I haven't heard much for Dying Light 2.
PG, didn't you make it into the Battlefield closed alpha or some shit?
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm in the technical test, but I can't play it because it doesn't work. But that's a lot of people's experience. So I'm in the technical test, but because it's a technical test, you're guaranteed to run into issues. And one of the issues might be, hey, the game doesn't run for me. And what EA expects you to do, and I can't exactly be mad, is like report it because, you know, I'm so when they send you the invitation, they also send you the invitation for the private forum for you to report all the bugs and issues you run into. And I can tell you, I'm not the only one. There's plenty of other people who literally said their game won't even run. And our job is to just post, hey, game won't run. And hopefully, you know, we get a certain error and we report the error, and hopefully that just contributes to the game being, you know, much better at launch and not having any issues at launch. So yeah, I've done my part as a tester. Can't even play the game. So, you know, it is what it is.
Robin, what you been playing, brother?
Not too much recently. I gotta say I played Ratchet and Clank a little bit late, so I beat that only recently.
Okay.
But I was a little bit disappointed because I beat the game and then found out that there was like no reason basically to do like a second playthrough other than a couple of miscellaneous trophies. Normally I would go and like, you know, try and get the platinum and stuff, but there were no difficulty trophies, no nothing. So I was like, yeah, really disappointed by that. And I don't know. I just kind of, I beat it and it was cool for what it was, I guess. But just find it a shame that like, you know, there's no incentive really to go back then anymore.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you said difficulty trophies. BG, didn't you just get hit with a bunch of criticism lately about difficulty trophies? Dude's got a problem.
I mean, not a whole bunch.
Not a whole bunch, but you know, it's weird, right? Like Sony's kind of shying away from that. There's not much difficulty related anything going around with PlayStation games.
Yeah, you know, that's like it's pretty much a Sony-wide policy. I would say almost like an industry-wide policy that you can't have difficulty trophies in your games. They put it behind the guise of accessibility when accessibility has nothing to do with it. And like I honestly think it's probably insulting to you know, people with disabilities. I'm like, y'all are really making it seem like these people with disabilities can't beat games on harder difficulties.
Right, like Dark Souls and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that's not the case. I'm pretty sure like you can have accessibility options and still have hardest difficulty trophies. So I don't see what one has to do with the other.
But I also feel like accessibility options are something else entirely than trophies. Like trophies are literally there to be achievements, right? Like they are things that you have to try really hard to get. That's the whole point.
Right.
So them saying indeed like, oh yeah, we need to make games more accessible. Yeah, that's cool and all. Like add your accessibility options to the game and everything like that. Nobody will complain about that. The fact that they indeed now basically remove all these difficulty trophies under the the mantra of saying like, oh yeah, we care about accessibility. It doesn't make any sense. That's not what trophies are supposed to be for in the first place. And yeah, you see it with all these games, like even the recent Naughty Dog games, how they you know allowed you to just like turn all the cheats on even to get the difficulty trophies and stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's ridiculous. It takes all the fun away for me personally because I love trophy hunting. Always have, and but I feel like nowadays, I don't know, there's just little reason to do it anymore because it's not like you in any way stand out by being able to get these trophies because everybody can now basically. I mean, you don't need to do any effort for it anymore. So
yeah, that's a good point because they're remaking, you know, Dead Space 1 and you know that's going to lead to Dead Space 2 remake hopefully, right? One of the hardest trophies I got is this one where you have to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, right? But you only can save the game 3 times.
Three times, yeah.
Yeah, or Dead Space 2.
You'll never see a trophy like that again.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to remove
never see a
that.
trophy like that again, bro.
That's crazy, though. That is kind of crazy.
Is that crazy? Wow. I think they're going to remove that from the remake.
Matter of fact, I think. See, trophies that like you have limited saves have a better chance of existing than difficulty trophies.
You sure? You sure about that?
I think so. They're really against the difficulty thing now.
They're like evil just do that.
Limited saves, they're like I don't think they're so much against that.
I agree. I think I was playing Mass Effect, of course, and I got a trophy for doing something I was supposed to do, like recruiting somebody. It gave me a trophy. I'm like, well, I'm supposed to do this. Why are you giving me a trophy? So, but yeah, I agree that and that doesn't matter what difficulty you're playing on, you get that trophy no matter what. So yeah, but I think the limited saves, that's interesting. That is interesting. Like go through, beat this game, you get 1 save, or play this baseball game, you have to throw a no-hitter, something like that. You'll get.
Bro, that is extremely disrespectful to people that are disabled. That like I'm sure they want to prove to themselves that not only they can beat the game, but at the same time I'm not even like a trophy guy, but at the same time, that is aggravating. Like that has nothing to do with like it's just so look, all first party games too, like that just really takes the burn away from the trophy. Like I don't know, man. That's aggravating.
And they never and it's like the people who are defending it, like, oh, it's for people with disabilities. I'm like, how come I never hear people with disabilities speak up about this? Like, how do you know this is how they feel? Like, how do you know they're so against it? I don't ever hear them complaining. Y'all are just, you are using them as, as a defense for your point, rather than them actually saying, hey, this is a problem for us, because I don't.
That
see
reminds me of? It reminds me of that chick
much.
Dina. Remember that Dina chick on Twitter who was blocking everybody? She was getting upset, like because she thinks bosses should have like an auto play mode or something like that, or you can just go through them or something like that for it. The game would do it for her. And she got mad about that because she was like, I'm a game journalist. I'm like, okay, you're a game journalist. Every game journalist,
like that's a title to be proud of.
Yeah, it's like
really not nowadays.
So she got mad about that and started blocking everybody. It's like, bro, no, that's not how this shit should work. But I don't know, man. It's like people think cheat codes should come back for
the platinum trophy is losing some steam here. Like games like Returnal. That trophy, like, what I look at trophies now, like to get a platinum, it's just you got to put more time than it's more time than difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just time consuming.
That's it. Like Demon Souls is a hard, like that shit's a hard platinum just because of the amount of time you got to put into it. Yeah, you got to beat the game multiple times, and you got to invade shit. But like I really think it's a slap in the face to people that really invest into trophies. Like that would really take the burn away from the trophy.
It's a slap in the face to anyone, because that's what trophies are supposed to be. They're supposed to be challenges that you take on, and the trophy is the reward. So once again, accessibility options, put in as many as you want. Cheat codes, nobody cares. Put them in if you want. If people want to play that way, fine. I don't even care if there's options for you to skip bosses, like BitCloud just said, as long as you don't get trophies for it. It's that simple. The trophy system is something else entirely. So to just kind of like blend these all in together, it doesn't make any sense.
You know what it is, though? I think they want to avoid what happened with that dude, that journalist. I don't know if you remember, Robin. The dude couldn't get past the tutorial level for
Cuphead. Yeah.
Maybe they doing this shit for them because they want to avoid that. They probably want to save journalists, but at the same time, again,
no. The reason why they're doing this.
Like this.
I think so. The reason why they're doing this is that game developers, games media, they're all kind of just stuck in a bubble on social media, and they've let basically, like, I don't know, they've gotten way too distracted by things like politics and letting their own like ideologies all just kind of take over, and that's all what it's based on. It's just based on that inclusivity, accessibility, all these things, and they can't go far enough with it. That's basically the whole point. It's just like trying to just like, I don't know, show off to everybody how morally good you are by doing these things. Look at us developers making the game easy for people, but it goes against what, again, as far as trophies goes, it goes against what it's even supposed to be in the first place. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think you're taking the fun out of these games that way.
Yeah.
Has done that? Like, have they gone and said, "Hey, first-party titles will not have difficulty achievements"?
No, I don't think so. But you just
They're
see
the
that,
one
like,
with the controller, right? They're the one that made an accessibility controller. Like, I don't understand. Like, if Xbox and Nintendo, well, Nintendo don't even have achievements. There you go. But yeah, I don't understand that. I would love to know if Xbox is going that route, because if so, then we're all doomed, I guess.
You know, they might as well remove, Robin. They might as well remove that pyramid ranking system. You know what I'm talking about, BG? The little pyramid where it's like rare, extra, the rarity system. They might as well remove it.
Yeah, but isn't that the amount of percentage of people that have it? That's not more like
you might as well remove the shit because anybody can get it. It's just time consuming at this point. There's no point. The part of that system was to, be competitive in the thing. You're taking the competitive aspect out.
They're going to disable that. The easy thing to do is just that if you want to see it again, kids are getting trophies nowadays for showing up. So it really, I understand why there's kind of a step back from it. It's just, the kids are they're just showing up to practice and they get trophies. For baseball and soccer. So it's kind of like, what's the point?
But a trophy is when.
Yeah, I know what it means. I get you, brother, but it's been watered down. You're right. Well, you're right. I mean, yeah, if you were the MVP, you should get a trophy. If you batted, 380 for the year, you should get a trophy. Again, I agree. These guys are getting trophies for showing up.
2020, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, it's watered down why you get the trophy. So, but maybe I think Big Cloud's right about the rarity, that system that's in. I think they'll always keep it, but they may give us the option of disabling it. Because that's it. I think that splits the difference and makes everybody happy.
Yeah, I agree.
About 2020, everything about this time we live in, Big Cloud. It's all about the time we live in. They're they're developing games and they're looking outside of their spectrum into other, like politics, like other things, like bullying, like everything is so watered down. Everything's so, you got to watch what you say. Everything's so, it's just, it leaves a shitty taste in my mouth, man. It really does. I can't stand it, man.
All right. Let me move on to this right here. Robin, you're up front. You're front stage for this one. So Robin, I gotta ask you this. I never had a chance to ask you this. What got you into YouTube, man?
What got me into YouTube? That I was an Uncharted fanboy is what got me into YouTube.
That's it. There you go.
No, actually, I should say, let's see. I created my channel in like 2008. So 2008 was the year that I got my PlayStation 3, and that's kind of like when I started really getting into console gaming. I mean, I've played games my entire life, but back when I was still very young, it was mostly on like handhelds, because I could never afford the just the regular consoles and stuff. So I was playing on handhelds, and then eventually I finally got my PlayStation 3. I started getting more into console gaming too. I don't know. I think initially I just made a couple of videos, just like I did stupid shit, like just re-uploading trailers that I liked for games, that I was looking forward to, stuff like that. But then eventually I was playing Uncharted 3, and that game had me really hooked. The multiplayer, I was playing it day in, day out, and there were all these people that were doing different kind of, top place kind of shows, right? Like even BG, I think, did one for Uncharted 2, even before that. So
put BG on the map for
because I was watching BG at the time already. So yeah, that's honestly crazy because it's been like a good 10 years or something now. But I mean, at that time in Uncharted 3, you had like other people that were all doing these shows, and they all had like, I don't know, they had like dubstep music and all this. They did them in certain ways where I felt like they're not really capturing what Uncharted is to me. You know what I mean? So I just felt like, screw it, I'm gonna do my own show. I tried very hard to get like clips from a bunch of people that would send me those, and I put some nice Uncharted music in there.
Yeah, you had like the thread on Reddit. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and then I made the very first episode, and somehow like I tried contacting Naughty Dog, and they actually put it up on Uncharted TV, and I was kind of amazed because, like, again, I'd never really been into YouTube. This was just my very first attempt. And there it was on Uncharted TV, and I started getting clips, and I kind of just went down the rabbit hole, and that's where it all expanded, and it became what it is now.
That's
I
crazy.
bet you think Uncharted 3 is not the worst game just because of nostalgia alone.
Well, I mean, single player wise, I think Uncharted 3 is by far the most disappointing. So, but it's just the multiplayer that I really did like. I mean, even the multiplayer, there was honestly a lot of stuff wrong with. It was super unbalanced and stuff like that. But
Big time, yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with it at the time. So that's what I still remember that game like fondly for. But yeah.
That's why I personally hate it about 3. It was there was no real challenge. It felt like it just felt like you just had to really just grind, get your level up, and you get this OP class, and bam, you pretty much run through everybody. It was terrible in that case. Uncharted 2. I remember BG used to always stream it too, but Uncharted 2 I thought had more balance to it in general. It was just fun in general, but Uncharted 4, I don't know about I don't know what I can say about Uncharted 4's multiplayer. It's a mixed bag. Like, I don't know if y'all felt the same way about Uncharted.
It's all right.
It's a mixed bag. It's got kill streaks. Sure, it's got kill streaks in there. But I don't know. It's
the mythicals is what I don't like, man. I don't like the
it's mixed for me personally.
I don't know. I think they did a relatively good job with it. The problem was that they completely stopped supporting it already very fast. Like there was hardly any content. If you even look at like, again, what Uncharted 3 offered, Uncharted 3 had so many different types of modes, and they fit all types of play styles, you know? I mean, if you wanted to play solo, you could play free for all. And if you had these modes like 3-team deathmatch and the lab, which was like, you know, you could do like dodgeball and all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
Then Uncharted 4 just had like basically 3 modes at launch that were all the same thing. Plumber, command, team deathmatch. It was all team-based. It was all team-based, and they had no co-op at launch. Of course, they added that later, but they didn't have any of the adventure levels that Uncharted 2 and 3 both had. I don't know, and the amount of maps was just not that great. So it's the content, really, I think, that brought it down.
Certain modes in Uncharted 4 for some reason just didn't work.
Yeah.
As they did in Uncharted 2 and 3. Uncharted 2 and 3, even 3, like Plunder was an amazing mode. In those. But for some reason in 4, it was a garbage, boring mode. I don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Probably because you could run.
No, BG, I don't think I ever asked you about the whole Uncharted 2 thing. Because I remember when you first started doing content, you know, it was just everything. You were doing more news-related stuff. And then Uncharted 2 comes out, and here you go. You're dropping Uncharted 2 content like crazy. And all the maps there, you were doing, like, breakdowns. How would you, like, rate Uncharted 2 to 4? Like, legit comparison-wise. Would you say 4 is a true evolution of it or a downgrade from 2? In terms of multiplayer?
I mean, single player, 2 was the best of its time. Like, it's hard to compare them because 2 was the best of its time, right? Uncharted 4 comes out, I feel like 8 years later or something.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to compare the two, but 4 is definitely the best of its time. If I had to compare the multiplayers, even for the time differences, 2 is still way better.
Yeah.
No,
I just
2
do
is
much
definitely still way better.
Okay, all right. Man, this is crazy. Fucking Uncharted. Robin, I didn't even think Uncharted was the thing that got you into content creation, to be honest. Like, I came across your channel when you did the breakdown videos and you started doing, like, the cut pieces. Not necessarily the top players. You were doing more theory videos, I think, for Uncharted at the time.
About what? Like Uncharted 4? Or?
Yeah, I think it was Uncharted 4 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I did way too many videos on those.
A lot.
On those games.
It's crazy because when you were doing your live stream a couple days ago, you were like, "Hey guys, you know I did the top worst fanboy videos." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Oh yeah, the top trolls and stuff.
Like, where the hell did that come from? I never believed that. But
yeah, no, that was just because I started like I said, you kind of go down that rabbit hole and you just start taking YouTube way more seriously, and so you're just looking for different things to do. And I remember I was in talks with like Machinima and these kinds of places, and they just asked me like make a top 5 troll series and stuff like that. And it's like I don't know, it doesn't even really suit what I like about games. But yeah, I just did it at the time because it's like it's just the making videos and growing your channel. That's what what was like really fun. So
okay. Well, since we're on the Uncharted topic, man, I got to bring this back. I think I asked BG about it, the whole rumor of Uncharted, right? The remaster for the collection supposedly coming back. More likely it's going to include Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. in the bundle, and this is going to be repackaged for PS5. Not sure if they're going to do it for 70. More likely, probably is. But I got to ask you, Robin, is this worth the price that it's asking? Because they're not even doing remakes of all these games; they're just remastering all of them.
Is it worth the price? I don't know. That depends on everybody individually. Obviously, I'm the first person to put down $70 for it. I don't care. I mean, it's my favorite series, so I'm clearly going to get it. But I also recognize that it would probably not be worth it for most people if it's just a regular sort of like, collection of them all. If you already own those games, then there's no reason to get it. But I don't know. I think the rumor of the Legacy Collection wasn't really based on much. I feel like it was just somebody once again pointing that out on like, I don't know, Reddit or 4chan or something. And these days, that's what I hate about gaming news, is that so much of it is just like speculation by a bunch of random people on these forums.
So fucking annoying.
And honestly, it's because these companies don't communicate anymore. So that's what I find even more annoying, is like the underlying issue is that we don't hear from PlayStation. I mean, when's the last time we really heard from PlayStation? It's been like a year.
I think Sony's afraid because of this. They don't want the feedback. You know what I mean? They're afraid of the feedback.
Yeah,
from fans.
I don't know, but
bro, feedback's important, dude. You need it.
Yeah, but some feedback though, I don't personally think they want to be in the same boat of. Like, the last thing I think Sony wants to hear is like guys going, "Oh my God, PlayStation has a Game Pass thing." With the way people look at Game Pass now versus PlayStation. Sure, there's going to be the group that's going to be like, "Oh, that's fine. I got no problem with a Game Pass for PlayStation." But there's the other loyalists who don't want to see that on PlayStation. That's the thing that they don't want to.
You're getting 5 games, BitCloud. Think about it. $70, you're getting 5 games. It's hard to say it's not worth it. It's just, what are they doing to it? If this, this is all speculation, right? Remaster meaning what? Port it over?
4K? Probably put them all in 4K at this point.
Yeah, and I agree with Robin. I mean, I drop it. It's like, it's just 5 games for $70, and let's see if they add to it. If they go up to 1440p, make them. I know the Uncharted collection is 60 frames per second, but isn't Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy? They're still 30. So if they brought them up to 60 and they added some type of ray tracing or something like that, who knows? Maybe another mode.
I guess if they do that, maybe.
But it's just a rumor.
Waste of time, man. Like, let them. Can Naughty Dog's one of the most talented developers, and they're over here just hanging on to their past over and over. Like, either let them make another Uncharted or let them create.
You ain't gonna like what I gotta say next, boys, because I'm pretty sure you missed it. I know Robin saw it on Twitter, and I know BG saw it.
What?
GTA was it? GTA 4? No, was it not GTA 4? It was Vice City. Was it? San Andreas.
The original trilogy.
Yeah, the original trilogy. Yeah, original trilogy is getting remastered for the next gen consoles.
Wait, remastered? Like redone?
Remastered, not remake.
What does remaster mean anymore?
Remastered is the same asset, same thing. You're just bringing it up.
I think they said it was supposed to be like a mix of old and new assets or something. They said. I have no idea what that means, but I'm not already saying it's going to be a mix. I don't know. That sounds again. If you're going to do it right, you're going to just build it from the ground up then. But if you're just saying like, oh, it's a mix of old and new assets, I don't know. That just tells me that it's probably just going to look basically like a PS2 game still. But yeah.
I love Vice City, bro. Vice City soundtrack. I just like that time period. So, Rockstar's got such a big ass team, and they got so much money that
I don't think they want to pay for the licensing fees for those games anyway.
Oh yeah. The music will definitely be cut down.
Yeah, the music has to be cut down.
They ain't gonna pay for that again.
In those old songs. Yeah.
What were you saying, BG?
I can't see Rockstar releasing GTA 3 just as a remaster. Like, I can't see them doing that. Like, just as a remaster, as in completely same assets.
You sure, bro? Because you still get GTA 5 this year.
I don't see them doing that. Because it just makes no sense, right? At least I can't see them like announcing it. Like, hey, here's GTA 3, exactly how it looked back in the early 2000s, and with square block hands and a square block face
with resolution bump.
I can't see them doing it. I just don't believe that, man.
That's true.
I don't believe that.
I mean, here's the thing though. They already repackaged GTA 5. Same thing for PS5 and Series.
Yeah, but bro,
GTA 5 looks fine. Like it's a modern game.
I mean, yeah, but you played it 3 times now at this point.
Yeah, and but it's still making money. So GTA
that.
5,
that's the lazy part.
porting it over to 2 additional gens makes sense. Remastering GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas doesn't make any sense unless you're gonna improve it. Because right now, for some people, it's unplayable. It's in an unplayable state because of maybe the controls and maybe think how things look. So I can't see them keeping it the same. It just wouldn't make any sense.
Let me ask, isn't... Oh, go ahead, B. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, B.
No, because it's on PC. You could play it on PC. I mean, you could play it on the emulator. Like, it's so many... Like, yeah.
I was going to say, isn't GTA 5 a spiritual successor to San Andreas? I mean, there's even a part you can go back to Grove Street at a certain time, and you'll see the blocky characters from San Andreas. This is a certain point of the day. You can go back there. So my understanding is 5, because it's happening in the same city, and it was a spiritual successor. With that, the gang that Franklin belonged to, CJ belonged to, so this stuff like that. But no, I agree. I would hate to see the blocky hands. And wasn't GTA 3 the one where you could get into the airplane, but it didn't have no wings because they didn't want you crashing the plane into buildings and stuff like that. So that's
Why would Rockstar pull attention away from their money making machine? You know what I mean? I just don't see them, they know what they have with Grand Theft Auto Online. That's why we're not getting Max Payne. That's why Red Dead 2 took 20 years. Because all their investments, all their time, all their resources go into GTA Online. And it is cool. They got everything. You can buy anything, do anything. But, bro, GTA Online is just... It's just not for me. I rather
them more for 6 too. I can see it because remember they tried to do the same shit with Red Dead 2. Yeah, I remember the online, but with the gold bars and nobody.
That failed.
Yeah, that failed miserably. You had to pay for the basic stuff like a watch. It's like they were really trying.
Doesn't hit the same as a yacht.
Exactly. All right, so let me go ahead and move on to a gaming news topic. This is pretty big. I don't know if you heard about this, Robin or BG, but Sony bought Crunchyroll for $1 billion. And there's a report going around that Sony is going to make a new PlayStation Plus subscription. Basically, Sony's looking to merge PlayStation Plus and Crunchyroll together. So you get your anime shows, all that stuff as a perk with this. Now, granted, though, it might be new. It might not be like the same one that we have here where, it's more like going to be one we have to pay an additional cost for this.
Raise your hand if you watch anime. That's what I thought. Next topic.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a huge crossover between people that play games and people that watch anime. It's like
they love it.
It's probably like a 90. I don't know. It's a high percentage, like maybe above 80% of people who watch anime play video games, or So it's to package it into, I guess, a PlayStation Plus deal. I mean, I guess it's smart. Do I personally care? No, because the only anime I've ever even finished is Naruto, so I don't.
Dragon Ball Z? Oh, what a fraud!
No, never finished it.
Oh man, I killed that topic fast.
No, I'm not mad at people that like anime. If you like it, you like it. I watch. There's some weird anime out there, man. I think it's good. I think it would be an extra little boost that people that subscribe to Crunchyroll, but you can get everything online. Like if you're really paying for once, I don't know. I'm not going to give you any ideas.
All right. Let me go ahead and move this on to Phil Spencer, because Phil Spencer got thrown into the fire, as per usual. Phil Spencer made a comment saying that he doesn't really believe in what Sony's doing in terms of their first party, where they have these AAA blockbusters. He doesn't believe in that particular strategy. He believes doing his own separate thing.
He believes in 60s and 70s, right?
Yeah, pretty much at this point. What you guys think, man? You guys think he's out of touch with this? I mean, granted, yes, Game Pass is doing great. He's got a new, they got a formula that works for them. They're doing good with Game Pass, but they're straying away from the basics here. What's up?
Do we have an actual quote? Because anytime they say Phil Spencer says something, by the time it gets reported, that's not what he said, or that's anybody in the industry. So I'm like, I need exactly what he said in quotations.
I got you. He says, and I quote, "Our strategy is not to just go be like someone else. I get a push sometimes of where's your version of this game or that game. I've been in this industry for a long time. I have a ton of respect for creators on all platforms, and I know many of them, but it's good if we're doing something different than what other platforms are doing. We're not in this business of just trying to create a green version of somebody else's blue or red colored platform. That's not the example of creativity that I want to see in the games industry. That's what he said, basically.
This is not news.
That's not. Is that directly saying that PlayStation strategy is not working?
He said blue and red, so I mean,
no.
I guess you won't be like
this
that.
This is once again the industry trying to make news out of something that's not news. All he's saying is like, because like Xbox, they'll be like, okay, where's Xbox's Uncharted? And he's saying, well, maybe that's not necessarily our strategy to have an opponent.
You think they blew out of proportion as per usual?
Yeah. This is not news to me. So I understand you bringing it up. I don't have an opinion on it though, because I think that's just gaming industry. That's just gaming industry, blowing up something because nothing else is going on.
Yeah, and you guys wonder why I don't talk about a lot of this stuff for Xbox.
Why?
In the chat.
I feel like the last fucking 3 years, it's been all fanboyism. Shit spun out of nowhere. Like, there's nothing to talk.
Because it has been, Blaze.
There ain't shit to talk about, bro. Every fucking week,
bro. Every fucking. If you really pay attention to a lot of the articles, dude, they're all like hit piece articles. They're like, hey, Sony's in trouble because of Xbox, or Microsoft delivered a death blow, or something. Like, there's always some fucking dumb tagline.
But that's what I mean, right? I mean, these companies do not communicate directly themselves anymore. We get so few shows, so all that we can really go by is just like, oh, here's another Phil Spencer quote, or here's what Jim Ryan said again. You know what I mean? And it's just, it gets, I don't know. It's like when you think about it, just 3-4. I mean, think about I remember back in 2016 when Sony had that like amazing E3 conference, right, in the theater and everything like that, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this is a new standard being set for E3 conferences." And basically, ever since, it's just been downhill. I mean, we had a couple of all these other companies still did their like terrible presentations. Now, of course, E3 basically doesn't exist anymore. But even back then, like, you wouldn't just have E3. You would still have Gamescom. You would still have, I don't know,
Paris Games
Tokyo
Week.
Game Show. Yeah, PlayStation Experience, of course. Like, all these events. It's just like, it's all gone now, And so, I don't know. You just, like I said, PlayStation's last real event was that PS5 event, which was like, what, August or something last year, maybe? I don't know. I feel like
an event, though. I mean, it was all, what I mean? It was a digital show.
That's sure.
Yeah.
Well, but at least they still, showed the big games there, Like, exactly. I mean, it's kind of weird how, like, back then they still teased that, like, God of War was supposed to come out this year, right? Now, of course, it's been delayed. But when you think about it, God of War was originally, right, according to them, supposed to come out basically around now. And we still haven't seen anything other than a logo for the game at this point. That's literally it. It's just like, where are those updates? I also feel like maybe that's the one thing I don't like about the PlayStation strategy, but I do think that focusing on those big games is not necessarily bad. Obviously, you're going to have fewer releases that way, but maybe some of the games are even getting too big for their own good. Like, I feel like it's causing these development cycles for the games also to lengthen as well. When you think about Naughty Dog, I mean, already Last of Us 2 took significantly longer for them to make. I think a lot of people would also argue that, while some, of course, loved it, some people didn't, but Last of Us 2 had some parts that definitely could have been cut from the game. But they basically, like, even with these single-player games, they want them to be big now. They want them to be, like, long.
2 games in one.
Because they're too afraid of the people that are criticizing them and saying, like, oh yeah, we need our game to be 20 hours or whatever to justify the $70 purchase,
Right.
But you see right now which PlayStation developer is doing the best at the moment. Objectively, it's Insomniac, who are just releasing Ratchet & Clank, which is 10 hours and it's fine. People like the game, you know what I mean? They had Spider-Man and Miles Morales. They just released like basically three games in the span of 3 years.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It really did, bro.
It's like it gets tiresome having to wait constantly for these companies to finally come out with their games too, because obviously the open world games already take a super long time to make. So Sucker Punch and Guerrilla, you're already waiting a super long time for.
Right.
But even these linear type games, a God of War or a Naughty Dog production or whatever, they are significantly making those games bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's I have no idea at this point when the next Naughty Dog game is even coming out. I could see it being like 2024, 25 or whatever. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, because no, they
Robin,
skipped Gamescom as well. They're not doing Gamescom's show. Sony, they pulled out of that. So it's like, again, I agree with the chat. They're too quiet. There's no updates on any particular thing, and that's what's making the articles even more worse. Because again, Sony doesn't really fact check anything. If that makes sense, they don't say nothing. They're just too like, oh, we gotta be quiet to keep the cards close to the chest type of thing, and then get this wow moment. Like, I don't even remember when the Xbox Series X was shown. They pretty much broke the internet when they just showed the DualSense. To counter, what was it, Inside Xbox? Was it that one of those shows? And they did that. It was like, it's okay to keep certain things to your chest, but as y'all clearly see, everything is leaked beforehand. Like even this show that was supposed to happen on the 12th, it didn't happen.
The lack of third-party games too is a problem. Like big third party, like the big AAA games, they're taking longer as well. Like Far Cry, Dying Light. We seen a trailer. They said it was coming on both PS4 and PS5. Then they canceled it. Then we didn't see it for a year. Like third-party big AAA games have been slowing down like crazy. Like usually, Sony puts out 2-3 games tops a year. Big games, and then you're good because you have these nice third-party games coming in, and PlayStation acquiring deals and making deals with third-party games. But that's even slowed down. Like it's like we're getting itty pieces of pie, and it's like, it's not enough. Like people are bored, bro. People are worrying about storage, and what are you worried about storage when you got nothing to put on the damn thing?
Yeah, Linus had a field day with that. So I guess I'll do a video on it later. But
I really think that like the for single player games at least, I really do believe that the future is more in kind of like those AA type of productions. The Hellblades and A Plague Tale and A Way Out and all these games. Like I don't know, I feel like that's really you see that people are willing to those games have all been successes, even though they have a significantly smaller budget.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you can see people just want good content. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter really like how long the games are. They don't need to be massive or whatever.
Right.
And and they're already offering those games, of course, also at like reduced prices. So because they have not as large budget.
PS3 and 360 had a bunch of those weird AA games that came out, like just a bunch of them, like a bunch of World War II shoot. Like there was always games coming out, always, and it's just, bro, it's been set like companies either shut down or companies merge together, or Microsoft backs up their money truck and buys a whole section, and it's like it's stagnant out there. It's really stagnant out there.
Y'all remember when the PS4 launched? They basically called it the indie station, right? It was a bunch of indies. They were really pushing indies.
But that was great.
Yeah, it was great.
I wish we had them right now.
Yeah, because Sony was. Didn't they put out a tweet about this, Robin? Everybody about indies, about supporting indies, like an upcoming show or something like that, or something, an event for them. So I think they kind of see the problem. Like it's not really the AAA games; it's the lack of content. The filler content that leads to these. I mean, you can have all these big releases, but if you don't have nothing building up to it, it's like it kind of falls flat. Like even if you go to the sales of a lot of these games, Ratchet and Clank only sold like 1 million, and Returnal, which I love the hell out of Returnal. Returnal only sold like 500,000. You know what I mean? They only
that'll go up though. No, that'll go up like around the holiday. Like that.
I hope so.
I think that's going to be a big seller. But that game was successful. Small studio. They did it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with what Sony's doing. They are going to make with that Last of Us TV show. You could see some content tie-in. Is what a lot of people. And again, I follow movies and TV shows more than most people. I follow those trades, and that is a big deal for Sony. Just as the Halo TV show is a big deal for Microsoft. They both see the success of Witcher on Netflix, and that is a co-promotional tool. So we'll definitely have to wait and see. But Sony, to me, they just came out, was it last week, and said that they're going to be able to, they're shooting for 22 million consoles, or they've secured enough chips for 22 million. So they are talking to people. It's just that I just look at them like Mike Tyson back in his heyday. They know they're the biggest, baddest walking around. It just, they don't have to constantly flex.
And
You know, like Mike Tyson, you know. So, but I get, you know, people who want all the information. Yeah, you're just, and I do agree with Robin. You're going to have longer gaming cycles. So I think eventually it will catch up. You know, you'll get more games and stuff coming out. But there's a lot more going on in the world. A lot of studios are shutting back down because of the pandemic. So, you know, that's why I'm not surprised that stuff is getting delayed or PlayStation's putting stuff still on PS4. They're adjusting to what's going on around the world, and they're still selling out. You know, people are still having trouble. It's been in 100 days, these consoles will be 100 years old. I can go to my local Walmart and get an Xbox. I can't do that with my PlayStation. So they know they're Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
I still haven't seen an Xbox.
You still haven't seen one?
We got them here.
I've seen them.
But I think it depends on what region you're in. Probably depends on what region of the states you're in. But yeah, I did a video on
a few of them. I can't find a Series X though. Series S I've been seeing a lot of. What was I about to say? So if I had to ask you guys, especially with the $70 price tag, this is just a good conversation. What would be like the best like determination of value for you guys when it comes to the length of these story-driven games? Do games really have to be 10 hours, 15 hours, or 20? Or higher?
I mean, that's it. Yeah, it's really hard to say. But for me, I mean that depends on the person, of course. But for me personally, it's always been just quality. Is that so? I mean, there can be. Of course, I understand that. Like, okay, if you're gonna have, no matter how amazing the game is, if it's 3 hours and it's $70, of course I can understand that. You know, people are gonna have a problem with that, and I probably would too. But like, to me personally, a 10-hour game that is quality is worth $70. I don't really like I don't know. It's always been about like the overall experience to me. You know, I never needed my games to be like crazy long or whatever. Also, I can, if they do it right, I can get tons of replay value out of a great 10-hour game too.
Right.
Like I said, if they do the trophy list right, for example, and you know they, I don't know, they have like cool incentives for you to replay them, then. Again, like a lot of people look at, for example, Uncharted, of course, as just your 10-hour linear single-player game. You play them once and then you're done with it. I look at myself and I'm like, those are by far my most played games because I beat them like dozens of times, literally. And yeah, that's just because they're fun and they're good. They're high quality. The stories are always fun to dive back into and replay. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't get like, even though I could get maybe 30 hours out of an open world game. Yeah, that's cool, but I won't enjoy those 30 hours as much, usually. Right. The story is usually not as high quality. I definitely don't replay my open world games, because the moment I went through all the chores of collecting all the stuff that's there, I definitely am not going to go back and do it all over again, personally. So, again, like for me, it's always, the conversation has always just been about like, yeah, what do you value about your games? And for me, it's just, a quality story, fun gameplay, high production values. That's I mean, that's ultimately what's going to make those games the most enjoyable to me.
Okay. BG?
Hit him, BG. Hit him with that video you made. You can't tell somebody you can't determine to somebody what is worth it and what's not worth it. Like, I think that was a great point you made, that video. I don't know what you put it.
I mean, it's all subjective. And the only deciding factor for me is, if something is worth 70 or not, is if it's quality and if it's fun. That's really it. Like this obsession with length, I don't remember it being like this. I'm like, where did this obsession with length come from?
They were condensed games, right, back then.
Yeah, like we were playing $60 games that were like 5 to 10 hours, like for generations. Like where did this obsession, like, oh, it's not worth it because it's not 25 plus hours come from? Like I think it's really just fanboys, using it for just some type of trying to make argument they're trying to make, because this was never a thing. Like the whole one and done narrative, or it's a short game narrative. This was never a conversation like before. So I think it's just nonsense.
Okay. It's funny because, I'm pretty sure all of us can go back and play God of War 3 and have no issues, right? And just looking at what we're playing now, it's like, yeah, that's it's wild.
These games are just like they're just getting too ambitious for their own good. Like I forgot who mentioned that, but like $70 to me When I would buy a game on PlayStation, I'd pay $65 because of tax. Yeah, there's ways around it. You go through PayPal, but $5-10, and you know, I'm not saying I'm rich people. Back off. I'm just saying, like, what are we really talking about here? $10. Like, if it's worth it to me, look at Battlefield. Battlefield's about to come out and charge you $70, right? And there's no campaign. Halo's about to come out and charge you nothing. And yeah, there's not gonna be a campaign day one, but you know, they're still planning on releasing the campaign, and it's free to play. Like, so you got to look at what's like. It's all like BG said, it's all subjective. Look at it like a plate of food, man. If you think that plate of food is worth money, then buy it and enjoy it. That's it. Like, all this clamor talk is just ammunition, you know, for the people to have a good time on Twitter. All that matters if you enjoy the fucking game. The price of it is irrelevant to me. It really is. It's irrelevant.
Okay. Good point.
You got to pay the cost to be the boss, BB King. So, yeah, it's I mean, everything is subjective. How many of you all have, you know, we work our asses off, get our kids the Christmas gifts, and then you see their faces on Christmas Day, and it's like, gee whiz, you know, what was I complaining for? So, yeah, it's all.
And they play for it for 5 minutes and forget about it.
Yeah, tear it up, and yeah, you love that. But yeah, you get that feeling, that sense of anticipation, things like that, opening the gift, taking the pictures, sending the pictures out. Prices. People complain about the price of Disney World, but you go down there, you take your kids, you take your family, have a great time. Again, you know, you can't. It is what it is, but it is subjective. If you are complaining about the price of games, you got to get your money up. You got bigger problems. So, that's the way I've always felt about it. There was a song on the radio years ago. If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. That's what I suggest these people do.
Oh God.
Money, you shouldn't be complaining. Listen, if you're complaining about we're all grown men, we all work. Buy your game, whatever. Like, if you're complaining about a game, then you know, like you said, you should be worrying about paying your fucking rent and shit. Like, this is just stupid. I don't even like talking about it. I don't like talking about it. It's annoying to me. You know, it's.
Let me ask this last question here for everybody. Start with Robin. What is y'all stance on the whole director's cuts that Sony's going with their games now? Is this something that you can get behind, or do you see this being the future for everything?
I don't know. I mean, they're not. I don't think they're really. Yeah, normally I would have said it's unnecessary, I guess, if they would have overcharged. But I think, how much is the Ghost of Tsushima one? It's like $20 or something. And Death Stranding. Yeah. So you know,
if you didn't buy the original, if I remember correctly.
I get it. They kind of shot themselves in the foot, not allowing themselves to do remasters anymore, really, you know, now that these games are backwards compatible. And you can just, still play them, of course, on your next-gen console. But, yeah, I mean, you know, they're adding new content to it, so it's just an easy way, I guess, to make a quick buck for them. And, you know, for a little bit of money, you get some extra value out of it if you want. I'm pretty sure there will be plenty of people that are not going to get these director's cuts because they feel like they've already played the game and are not interested in the extra content. So I don't know. I don't have much against it. I'm not necessarily a fan of it either. So yeah, I'm kind of neutral on it.
You getting that? I mean, I see BB in the back, so I'm wondering if you're gonna get the one for Death Stranding.
I probably will. Yeah. I mean, but I'm not sure if I would like do the whole thing again and, you know, go through the whole game again, because it's quite, I mean, nobody wants to do another 80 hours of walking, but I mean, there were some extra story missions and stuff, so I definitely want to check those out. If I can, with my, you know, just like with my save file, play the new content and just leave it at that, then yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think that's the trick, right? They're letting you do the file transfer. So that is true.
Yeah.
You bought that thing? Wow. They were like clearancing them off at one point.
Oh, really?
But those are cool. That's like the little, I see. I'm
surprised you didn't get one. I mean, you got the console, Blaze.
I got 2 Death Stranding PS4 Pros. That was good enough.
I don't know why you got that and not even buy
for the controller, man. It's the best PS4 controller ever.
I remember you thought the baby was going to be in the controller.
That was a letdown.
You actually thought there was going back on baby inside the controller. Let me ask you that though. What's your stance on the whole director's cuts, Blaze?
I don't have a problem with it, man. No. Now, honestly, like I wish Sony would. Ghost of Tsushima already runs 4K 60 on a PS5, right? So why the fuck, you know, all these trigger enhancements, like the island, the separate island, and the separate physical content, like armor and shit like that. That's all cool. Like I understand that part, but triggers and Japanese voice act, that could have all been added in. So like anybody complaining about it, I understand and I don't understand, because the game, if you don't want to buy it, it already plays at 4K 60 anyway. But I wish Sony would just, if they want to make director's cuts, make director's cuts of fucking Killzone 1, 2, and 3. Make director's cuts of fucking Resistance 1, 2, and 3. Stop. Like, these games just came out. It's a waste of time. Like, whatever. It's not my call, obviously.
You know you're going to get one from Last of Us 2. Robin, you know what's happening. Last of Us 2 is going to get it with factions.
Of course they're going to get a director's cut, bro.
A director's cut?
Yeah, you know it's going to happen. I see it.
I'm not sure. I feel like they'll do the factions thing standalone or something. That's what I think. But yeah, I have no idea. I mean, but that's what I find another weird thing is, like, we've been talking about this factions thing for like a whole year already, and it's still not announced.
That it's been pushed off. I really think they're about to repackage it. They're like redoing the assets for PS5, and they're going to go director's cut, and it's going to include it.
When is the show actually starting? Do we have any idea on that? Is that like next year somewhere?
Something like next year.
Because maybe they're going to kind of like coincide that with the.
No, the show wraps next year, so we're not getting that show until like 2003.
Okay,
I mean 2003. I mean 2020.
2023.
They might do the remake for the first game then at that point, I guess.
Wow.
The one that nobody is looking forward to.
I mean, they're probably
it'll be the original factions, Big Cloud. It's going to be the original factions from Last of Us 1 in the new engine. They'll add a few extra maps and a few extra weapons.
More tall grass for prone, maybe. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it'll be 120 FPS if you got that on monitor or TV. They'll do something. But
I don't think they do 120.
I think they may, but I love it. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. I'll be getting Ghost of Tsushima, albeit next month, because it's Madden's coming up in a couple weeks for me, so I'm definitely buying that. Yeah, it's coming out 2 weeks or a week. No, I don't know, next week or 2 weeks from now. So that and Kana, Bridges from buying that. So it is what it is. Different strokes for different folks. So.
Okay. BG, what's your stance on it, bro? You with it? Director's cuts?
I don't care. I'm one of those. Listen, gaming is what I like to do. Like, I don't care what they price something at, because like I said, everybody has a price, right? Like, it's just, listen, there's a game that you won't pay $70 for. Some people claim there's no game in existence they would pay $70 for. I'm like, I don't believe. I don't believe you. I think you're a liar. But if you want to stick by that, then I'm fine with you sticking by that, right? And like, I'm just fine with paying for the games that I want, right? The ones that I feel are worth $70, and or worth whatever price at. And I just don't understand the complaining part. Like, if you don't think a game is not worth $70, then just wait for a price drop. I'm not gonna. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I've never complained about a game being too expensive. Not because oh, I'm flexing my money. No, because like, if I don't think it's worth it, then I'm just gonna wait for the price. I'm just gonna wait for the price that I think it's worth it. I don't understand the complaining part. Just shut up and wait. Buy it when it's shut up and wait. Like,
let me quote Jack. You sure it's not because of the PlayStation Studios logo on it?
PlayStation wasn't the first one to announce $70. That's the other thing. Like, people are attaching $70 to Sony games. Sony wasn't even the first one to announce $70 games. I'm like, why do they make PlayStation with $70 synonymous?
I think Sony went head first into it. Remember, Sony was like the one that really went head first. Like, hey, games pretty much.
We know what it is. We know what it is. Like, Sony. They look at Sony as they dominate the gaming industry. That's a fact, right?
Yeah.
They're the market leader. They're the big bad guy in the yard. So they need to attach some negative things around PlayStation, and like, okay, let's attach this $70 thing to them as if they're the first and the only ones in the industry doing it when they're not. Like, but like I said, like, I just like, yo, if you don't like what's on, change the channel. You don't call up the whoever decides what's on the channel and be like, hey, I don't like this program. No, just change the channel. It's the same thing to me with with games. Like, oh, I don't think it's worth $70. Okay, I'm not gonna go on the internet.
One.
I'm not gonna go on the internet and cry about it. I'm be like, oh, well, I'll wait. That's
hold
it.
on,
Like,
BG. Let me ask you a good question.
All this crying is about.
BG, what's worse, buying a game for $70 at launch or buying a game for $60 10 years later, aka Nintendo? You see what I'm saying though? Ooh, Nintendo still has games for $60 5-10 years later. What's worse?
People have accepted it. It's just
Nintendo gets away with anything. We already established.
But that's worse to me. You're paying $60 for a 5-year-old game.
It's absolutely worse because when you look at it, when you look at the literal math of it, right? Yeah. The literal math of it is like, okay, this is a $70 new game, and people are like, no way, not possible. There's no way a game could ever be worth $70.
Right.
But they look at literal Mario Kart, which is, I think right now, if you go on Amazon or whatever website, Mario Kart is like 8 years old and it's like $60, bare minimum 50. And they're like, well, okay. Like what? Like, bro, it's like 8 years old. It should be like 20, but you're complaining about a new 70. Like, bro, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying either is right or wrong. I'm just saying you got to keep the same energy for like both. If you're going to complain, if you're going to complain about it all. If you're or just shut up about everything.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. They want to attach negativity because they believe that you all shouldn't. Sony's treating you all terribly, and you need to come buy an Xbox because Xbox won't do this to you. Xbox's SSD just goes right in there. You all have to take 3 or 4 minutes to put your SSD. I mean, it's on and on and on. Yeah, I agree. They're not keeping the same energy, and on top of that, they're broke. So yeah, they need to shut up.
On that note, shit. I think we went over everything. There's not much happened this week. This whole Kojima thing. I thought, it's funny. I thought the whole Kojima thing was actually going to be, I don't know, more eventful going into Friday. But as you guys already found out, it was nothing. And we just got blue-balled, literally.
Listen, PlayStation will fuck you over every Friday. Wait, every Friday? Trust me, it'll happen. There's some bad news about PlayStation every fucking Friday. Trust me.
You believe so? Well, I can't even argue that. I can't even argue. It's always been so awkward for PlayStation.
But again, the people that say out there that PlayStation is on the fence and they say that, there's nothing to play on either side, I agree. But at least we've had games come out. Oh, that's it. There's no argument in that. You can't argue back and forth with me. You still haven't had a game come out for your system.
In terms of bangers, we had a lot more bangers at the start. I will say that for.
But not even bangers, bro. Look at the Xbox. Look, I don't want to get into it in the show, man. Xbox is trash. That's it.
That's what you want to say.
Please.
All right, well, shit. On that note, man, this is good, man. Time went by fast. This is episode 160, RGT podcast. We got over 121 people up in here. Go ahead, hit that like button. Let's get into these outros. Let me start with Robin, man. Robin, thank you so much for coming on. First time getting on this show. Hope you had fun.
Thanks for. I sure did. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
What time is it, Robin?
It's now almost 11:30.
Wow.
Oh man,
that's crazy.
It's late over there.
Yeah.
BG, BG, thanks for coming on, brother. We're gonna find Weapon Will.
Yeah, man. Weapon Will podcast Sundays, 5:45. Check out the show. I mean, I've been waiting to get back into making videos talking about things, but ain't nothing going on. It's hella
you your soul left your body the whole time. You was like this, like you were just so in your own zone. Like fuck it, who cares? Ain't shit going on here,
bro. Both of them. Robin said he's depressed. Like it's true. Like look at this. Like,
I mean, I'm not bored. Like I got games to play. That's not my issue. I got games.
We all got games to play.
It's just no. There's
no life, right? There's no life. There's life in the community
going on. I mean, and I think that's partially a symptom of new generation, because what was that? It was either like the 2.5 year of last gen. Oh, it was mad dry. I think people forgot.
Yeah.
I think so, bro. Like, look, PS4 launched.
Bro, it was hella dry, dog. It was like the second year. I think it was second in the middle of the year. Nothing was happening for like I feel like it was like a 6-7 month stretch.
But also next year is already looking way better when you think about it. Like again, God of War, if that comes out, and then I guess Horizon is delayed, so Horizon. You got like Hogwarts Legacy, you got like Elden Ring, and you got quite a lot of big games, you know. So
you know, it's funny though. We kind of said that about this year though, didn't we? We said this year was going to be amazing.
yeah,
and
but
all
we
this shit got
already
pushed
we could
back.
already figure last year that like all those games that they kept promising for this year probably weren't coming out in the first place. So you know, it's always how it goes.
But when you look at the PS4 launch lineup, you like, bro, look at it: Battlefield, Call of Duty, NBA, Madden, FIFA, Need for Speed. There was something for everybody. I'm just saying, like, you look at the PS5 launch lineup.
Not impressive. That stuff. That's like
That's like the usual stuff, though.
that's usual stuff.
But it's not. I'm not saying it's impressive, but at least it like. And then we had a couple exclusive Killzone and shit. But I'm just saying, like, I felt like I don't know.
This launch is way better than that, bro. This
I'll
launch
give
is
it
way
that.
Yeah, Demon Souls clearly, boom. That's it.
That was enough to knock the bar
I do
off.
remember that first year being dry, but once again, I will say at least they showed more of what was coming up, and that's the thing I feel is lacking right now. Is like we're hardly seeing anything from these games that are coming out next year, so there's just
Right.
like nothing to talk about. That's more it. Whereas back on the PS4, you had stuff to anticipate. You know what I
CGI
mean? And like that's
trailers,
what we're
yeah.
all still waiting for now. Yeah.
all the PlayStation spokesperson, the people that like being, vocal and outwardly spoken, they're not there. Like Jim Ryan, he doesn't care about, if you have to wait for an announcement. He's going to make you wait, and we're going to do it in an announcement. We're not going to get personalities speaking on Twitter like we had, before, and being very personable. Jim Ryan ain't that type of dude. So that's the way it is.
Jim's a businessman. He's just looking for growth in every single thing he.
Yeah,
can
he's
get his
very
hands on.
business-minded.
Yeah, he don't care about anything in nature.
It's not personable, which I think they should get. Like, there's somebody that can be very vocal at
Herman
PlayStation.
Hulst, I think more likely is going to be the spokesman for the most of these shows, like Sharon Layton was.
Yeah.
I think Herman Hulst is going to be that guy because he's a developer.
Definitely a better guy than
Yeah.
I mean, bro. I can't stand
I've seen
Jim
Herman.
And Herman Hulst is good at his job, but once again, he's not really concerned with like the engaging the audience necessarily, like on Twitter. There's not like a right or wrong, but I think you should have like one designated person for that at least that interacts with people.
Like that's what I miss about Sean. Sean was kind of like us, you know what I mean? Not only was he kind of like our voice, the dude actually responded and actually was like, he just seemed excited about every show that he was a part of. He actually went and did the extra mile. You don't really see that with any other developer.
Jack Tran was the best, bro.
Jack Tran was the GOAT.
Yeah, him and Andrew House.
Bro, Jack Tran had swag. He was just fucking cracking jokes. That's my guy right there. I was so sad to see him go.
I think after Sony buys Haven Studio, they can just send Jade Raymond out there and she can just smile. That'll be the end of the show. So, let her be the spokeswoman.
They're gonna buy that in like 12 years. They got to date people for a long time.
You're right about that.
Yeah, they're giving Jay Raymond just free finance on the game at this point, like they did with Kojima Productions. Build the relationship.
So we're complaining, but in 3 months it's gonna get busy. You're gonna get the sports titles, the Dying Lights, the Battlefields, the Call of Duty. It'll get a little busy, but it's been really.
So
yeah. Everybody's got a backlog.
Everything comes back. Personally,
who wants to play your backlog, bro? You end up looking at all your shit and like, I just don't want to play this right now.
That's been my funk. I got so many games in my backlog. Still some in plastic here. But anyway, it was a good show. Robin, again,
it was a great show, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm glad you had fun. You want to link your Twitch and everything in the description?
Oh, yeah, sure thing. If people want to follow me, of course, Robin Gaming is the channel on YouTube, and on Twitch it's Robin Elio. But I guess, you can put them in the description or something.
All right, gotcha. Blaze.
Yeah, good show. You know what I mean? Shout out to Robin for making time to come through. Shout out to BG for coming through. Craig. Solid cast every other week, 9 p.m. Pull up. That's about it.
Yeah, we're going to have to get Rob. Well, I don't know if we can. It's going to be awkward getting Robin on that show because, we do Solidcast at 9.
It's 9 p.m. It'd be fucking 4 in the morning.
Like 4 in the morning for him, so I don't know.
But he was up on I was streaming at 4 in the morning playing Last of Us, and there's Robin Gaming TV like, what's up, Blaze? I'm like, what the fuck?
My sleep schedule has been fucked up at particular points in time, but right now I'm doing pretty good. Going to bed
on track.
We got to work something out for that to get you on Solidcast for sure. But what was it, Craig? Did you get your outro? Where people find you?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. It was fun. Finally got a Friday off, and I enjoyed you all's interview with the with IGN. I thought that was a real good interview. Good interview there, and keep up the good work, man. I'm loving what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys missed the last show. We had Lauren from IGN. Great show. Go check that out. Of course, everybody who watches this later, hey, thanks for watching. You guys have a good one. Thanks again for coming through. Everybody in the chat. We'll see you guys. Well, I probably won't be back next week for the RGT podcast because I'll probably be out of town celebrating my mother's birthday. She turns 59 next week, so I'll be out of town. So y'all be good though until then. All right, we out here.
All right.